Welcome back, everyone. Cameron has a really cool DIY for all the car lovers out there. He is basically taking license plates, old license plates, and turning them into inspirational wall art.
I mean, it's pretty amazing,
and
right?
word art.
Guess what? I was inspired by this. I mean, we all love watching Meet the Pete's, and I was inspired because a little tease for the upcoming episode, Monday's episode coming up, where Ryan is learning to drive on the show. I know a thing or two about that. I'm teaching Lucas to drive, so I was starting to think a little bit, but let's take a look.
Don't mess up on anything now.
Oh man, you know, I'm not the best driver.
All right, sit in the seat.
And I can already tell this is gonna be a rough experience.
All right, make sure your mirrors are adjusted.
Oh, mirrors.
But you know, I'm gonna breathe and I'm just gonna do it.
Hey, Ryan. Just what you want to see your mother in your rearview mirror.
Press the brake and shift this in reverse. Now go back and watch what's around you.
And also you have that in front of you right
Ryan,
there.
watch it. Now turn really hard, turn a couple times.
Go.
Just keep going straight.
And turn, make this turn here.
Coming around too
Yeah,
fast.
I need to practice.
Just
coming
have to,
around
yeah,
this
do it
way.
again.
This isn't that bad.
Just start slowing down
Just
before
start
you
slowing
turn.
down before you turn.
It's a little bit nerve-wracking having two family members bark at me as I'm trying to learn how to drive. I should have thought this through.
She was actually doing a great job considering, right?
Very true. That's stressful.
It is a little stressful. I can relate to Holly. I'm basically that that character when I'm teaching Lucas to drive.
Literally, Holly was a backseat driver.
Literally. She
in
was
the
cracking me
backseat,
up back there. But this is a perfect DIY because here's the thing also about Lucas. Yes, I'm teaching him how to drive, but he loves cars. I mean, he's got posters up all over his room. There they are there. I
wonder where he
mean, literally
gets that
covering
from.
his walls. Fascinated with cars, takes his own photos. He's also a bit of a rock and roller. So these vintage license plates will suit his room perfectly. Cars, rock and roll.
The apple does not fall far from
Well,
the tree.
you know what
Isn't that the
happens.
truth? Okay, well,
Okay.
first thing first, we
Yep.
need to have license plates. So what if you
Yes.
don't have a bunch of old license plates laying around?
Okay, well, they're super easy to find online. You can find them at eBay. You can find them on Etsy as well. And I saw this, by the way, on Pinterest on a page called The Cottage Market. Okay, I was checking it out on The Cottage Market. I love what they did there. It was on Pinterest. And so I'm basically adapting it and making my own here for Lucas and for his room. And this is how it starts. Okay, so
what do
first
we
things
do?
first, we need eye protection because we're dealing with cutting a little bit of metal here. And also some gloves, everybody. If you got some gloves, even gardening gloves, any kind of gloves would work.
Nice.
Because what happens is as you're cutting the metal, it gets a little sharp and little tiny pieces can come off a little bit too. And then you've got a pair of metal snips. Clearly, the first thing you need to do is know what you're going to want to say, right? You know what?
Well, here we have imagine and believe.
We've got imagine and believe, and I'm going to add dream to the trio there. Dream, imagine, believe.
like
That's
it.
the idea. So you got a whole bunch of different vintage plates. You find your letters that you want in different colors in different ways, and this is how you just basically cut them out using your metal snips. It works pretty easily. It's actually quite simple. But the one trick is when you're doing it, if you just tried to go straight through like that, the metal snips wouldn't make it. So I got this great tip. You're just kind of bending it down as you go along. Just a bit like that.
What is this tool called again?
The metal snips
called metal
or
snips.
tin snips.
Okay.
Either one. And they go all the way through pretty easily, just like that, okay?
Okay.
And you do the same thing.
Are you putting elbow grease into it, or is it just?
It's pretty, you want to try it?
I mean-
just know you cut and then bend down. So that way the metal snips.
I'll let you do it.
You sure? It's pretty easy, by the way, guys. I'm maybe making it look a little harder than it is, but you just rip right through it.
Okay.
Believe it or not, our license plates aren't built that difficult.
No,
so
they're
there
not.
you go.
Look at that.
But
Okay.
again, you can see that it could be a little sharp on the edges. And it's also because I was bending it, the next part you have to come along. You see this hammer
That's
sitting
why
here.
we have the
You do
hammer.
this part. So you just hammer it down, make it, you go. Hammer it down, make it flat, make sure the edges are as flat as possible. I'll hold it for you a little
hold
bit. Yeah, there you go. Along the edges, that's the idea. And then you see how those little snip marks there? Get those down
Yeah,
too.
and you know what? You're right. It's very important you have gloves. Oh, look at how flat I just made it. That was quick.
That was very
Okay.
quick, and clearly I have two letters here, or a number and a letter, or two numbers, depending on how you look at it. I'm not sure. But then you get your letters all picked out,
All right.
and now you're ready to move to the next phase. I guess I could
Take
keep. Yeah, we could take these off.
You don't need the gloves.
I don't think we need the gloves anymore because we pounded down the
Yeah.
edges. Once you got your base wood, you can use just a piece of antique wood that you have in the garage or the basement if you want. You can just use a piece of 1x8 and you can antique it a little bit,
And I bet
banging
you
it
have
up.
scraps at the hardware store. They'll give you one anyway.
I personally think those kind of scraps look the best
Yeah.
possible. I mean, you know, our DIYers show us that all the time. You've got your letters all cut out from different license plate, looking fantastic, but how are they going to go on this? Well, a little hot glue is all you need. That's all you need to do it.
You don't have to screw them in or anything.
But
Okay.
I really recommend laying it out first to really kind of make sure it's A, gonna fit, and B, how you're gonna overlap them. For instance, we got a little D here. I cut this one pretty small, but my R has got a lot of room on one side. So I'm gonna wanna overlap that with my E. Same idea. With my E, I'm going to overlap the A a little bit. Wouldn't it be funny if I spelt it wrong, like by accident while I'm doing it here? But I don't want to have it all go in one direction. So what I'm going to do is to change it up a little bit, is I'll have my M's on the bottom,
That's
my
good.
D and my M on the bottom, and have these guys kind of layer on top. So that's
Orly
the
always
plan.
tells us to do the layout before.
Right. So I'm going to shift these guys off. These will be
Okay.
the first two that we're going to glue down, okay?
All right.
So you want to just put a little hot
Just
glue on
right
this?
on the back of it, huh?
Yep, and don't be shy with it. Yeah, get it
Okay, I
all
don't
the
want to
way.
get your fingers though, because
Hot
you
glue
will
is
need
hot.
the- yeah,
Hot
and
glue
you
is hot. That's
definitely
probably
will
pretty good
need
there.
the-
I think that's enough.
There we go.
And we'll put that guy down there, and
Need
we're
the
just going to
gloves.
let that
Press it.
set a little bit. We'll do
Okay.
the D next. Again,
This is
that's
easy.
the plan.
So I think probably the most difficult part of this is finding the vintage license plates that you like.
You're absolutely right. But believe it or not, once you start looking, it's a lot easier than you think. Like I said, you go on Pinterest, and there's a lot of different places where you can see various ideas.
There you go.
I think that's good. You're doing a great job.
Okay, I'm gonna put this guy in.
Usually I have to like convince somebody to use more hot glue, so that's perfect. So like I said, now I'm going to layer them up, get that E on there as well.
There we go.
Beautiful.
Down there.
Beautiful.
Okay.
And then last but not least,
Hot glue is really amazing.
hot glue is
I would have
amazing.
thought maybe use E6000 or something like that, but that does take a long time to dry the E6000.
This is just so quick, yeah. I mean, you could too, if you have more time and you don't have to worry about it setting
that.
quicker. So I'm gonna try and space that in perfectly, and there you have it. There is our dream.
Now,
just like
how
that.
would we mount that onto the wall or wherever you're going to put
You can
it?
use these 3M command strips, which is what we're going to do right now, because this, I think these go up to about 12 pounds.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is not, I mean,
Light.
barely a pound. But if what you're hanging is heavier than that, just use a flush mount. That's fine too.
Okay.
So you can pop one of these on. You just pull off the one side, place it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Place it wherever you want. And you know these are actually two pieces, right? So then
Okay.
before you put it on the wall, you take the other strip off, just like
There
that.
we go.
And then you
We're done.
place. And then we're done.
Look at that, in real
Let's
time.
See. Let's see how we
Cameron,
do
that's
here.
amazing.
Just like that.
There it is. Dream, imagine, believe. Well done, Cameron.
Yeah,
That
well
was
done,
very
Gabby.
impressive.
Thank you
I
for your
love
help.
that.